Hey guys, it's Paul Ritzler here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to calculate standard deviation in statistics. So when we look at our definition of standard deviation, it says it is the measure of how much a data set varies, and the variance is the square of the standard deviation. So when we think of variation and standard deviation, when you have the variance, you would think of the square root of the variance being the standard deviation. So we're going to look at a problem here. And so I have my data set right here. So it's asking us what the variance is. So I'm going to write my data set. Okay, so I have my data set over here. So as you may have remembered from the first video of how to find the mean or the average, so this is our first step for calculating standard deviation, is we have to add all these numbers together and divide by the numbers in the data set, which will give us our mean. Okay, so we have our numbers aligned here. So 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 plus 3 is 21. 21 plus 2 is 23. 23 plus 1 is 24. 24 plus 2 is 26. And then 26 plus 2 is 28. So we have 28. And then so if we look, there are 7 numbers in the data set. So that means that 28 divided by 7, that would equal 4. So that means that our mean would be 4, or our average is 4. So we write that down. So now our next step, what we have to do is we have to subtract the mean or the average from each number in this data set. So, and then we're going to square it. So what we're going to do is that we're going to, so for instance, so we have 9 minus 4, which is 5. So we have 5 and then squared. So then we have another 9, so it'd be plus 5 squared. So then 3 minus 4, which is negative 1. So that means that it'd be negative 1 squared. 2 minus 4, which is negative 2 squared. Negative 2 squared. So then 1 minus 4, which would be negative 3 squared. Two minus 4 is negative 2 squared, so negative 2 squared plus. Okay, so I have subtracted the mean from each number in this data set. So what I want to do now is I want to square it. So as you all know, 5 squared is 25. So we have 25 plus 25, right? 25 plus 25. So then we have negative 1 squared, which is just positive 1. So then we would have a positive 1. And then negative 2 squared is just 4. So negative 3 squared, which is 9. Negative 2 squared, which is 4. Okay, so we have all these numbers. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add them together, and then we're going to divide by the amount of numbers that there are in this data set, which will give us our variance. And then when you find the square root of that number, then that will give you your standard deviation. So add all these numbers. So 25, 25, 50, 51, 55, 55 plus 9, that would be 64. 64 plus 4 is 68. 68 plus 4, that would be 72. So we have 72 as our sum. So then when we divide by the amount of numbers in this data set, so it would be 7. So 7 divided by 72, that would be 10.7. So we have a decimal answer. So 10.14. So we would have a decimal. Okay, so we get 10.285 as our variance. So for this problem, it's asking us the variance. So if the answer is a decimal, round to the nearest tenth. So we have our decimal here. So when we round this to the nearest tenth, we round one decimal over. So it would be rounded to 10.3. So our variance of this data set would be 10.3. So we have our answer right here. So, and then we submit. There we go. So here, let me skip this problem because I want to get to a standard deviation problem that we can do together. So let me go try something else, guys. Yeah, because see, the problem is that it keeps asking me to do variance, but I want to get to standard deviation, so. Okay, so since it's not giving me a problem with standard deviation, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to type this answer into the calculator as a square rooted number. So let me get my calculator real quick. Okay, so when we type this answer into the calculator, so we have 10.285. So we do second square. So you press second on here, and then you do the square root button in here. So then you type in your answer right here, 10.285. So it would be 285. So then we do enter. So then that means that if it were round to the nearest tenth, 3.2 would be your standard deviation. So your 10.285 or 10.3 round to the nearest tenth, that would be your variance. And then the square root of the variance would give you your standard deviation. So I hope that you found this video helpful, and I will be posting more soon. I want to kind of get to polynomials, like dividing polynomials, multiplying, talking about like what monomials are, like what polynomials are, what binomials are. So, and a lot of like binomials are also like factors of quadratics, which I want to get to also. So, but anyway, I'm hoping that you found this video helpful, and click the subscribe button at the bottom, and I will be posting more videos soon. Alright, you guys have a good night, and I will talk to you later. Alright, bye.